Hang With and YouTube and Internet, and we are so happy to be here at Indie BookFest 2015 in Orlando, Florida. We're at the Carib Royal Hotel, and we are hanging with authors and bloggers and anybody that has anything to do with the modern independent published industry. And right now we are hanging with Vincent F.A. Golphin.
Right.
Golphin, outstanding. Vince, it's so good to have you here. Thank you for hanging with us.
Thank you.
So tell us a little bit about what you're doing. You're doing some blogging and vlogging. And
right. Well, I'm here representing my blog, which is vreads.com. vreads.blogspot.com.
Okay.
And you have to do vreads.blogspot. It won't come up the other way.
Now, for those of you out there, the users, if you use Google Plus or you're using Google, Blogspot is the Google blogging. So go to the address there.
And it's VEEREADS, all one word, VReads.
VReads.
And that's because it's about me, Vincent F.A. Golphin, and I read. I write about stories. That's what interests me. I'm a former academic. I'm a retired college professor. For more than 20, almost 30 years, I taught people both through journalism and through fiction, nonfiction, poetry, how to write stories. I did ethnographic work where I interviewed people. I traveled around the country and did a whole piece that I didn't publish yet on Emmett Till, trying to talk to people about stories. Because to me, that's the most, it's not only the basis of civilization, but it's the most fascinating aspect of humanity. Yeah. Our society is defined by stories. It's the stories we tell ourselves that make things real.
We've been telling stories since we were around 5 campfires.
Right, but stories have more than a purpose of just telling them. They, in other words, like a lot of times people think, oh, well, okay, a story is just for entertainment. No, stories have purposes. And so when we tell a story, for example, we have the story of the founding of our nation. We have the story of George Washington. We have the story of Thomas Jefferson. All of these things are stories, some of which are mythical, okay? But the myth is important because the myth helps to give the nation its identity. Yes. And identity is important, okay? It's just like in your family. Every family has stories that you tell. And the stories are told to give stability to that family. That's why often secrets are hidden, okay? Yep. And those stories are really interesting sometimes, but when they come out, they can change an entire fantasy. You're a mystery writer, so you deal with that kind of thing all the time.
When you actually tell people what the mystery is, it's over. You're done. They're done.
Right.
Because part of the journey is discovery.
Right.
And I had a college professor, much like yourself, who said that the writer's job, it doesn't matter what you write. You write fiction, you can write biographies. You can write. The writer's job is to tell the truth, not the fact necessarily. The truth behind it. What is the human truth?
Right. What is the real story?
What's our story? And that, to me, that's just, it's an amazing thing to see. Again, we talked a little bit off camera about the changing world of journalism. We're both journalists. We both came from that world.
Exactly.
And the changing world of journalism, where so much is wrapped up in entertainment, that finding that human truth inside of the story is lost in the packaging.
Right.
Sometimes.
And sometimes we get so much into the hype that we lose it in terms of what the real story is. So let's just move on.
We're gonna real quick. I guess we're gonna break for our break time here.
Okay.
And we'll be back in about 2 minutes.
All right.
So hang with. We'll be back.
In 1953, private investigator Will Lucky Marks was working as the in-house private eye for Arcane Pacific Pictures when famed director Alistair Walters was brutally stabbed to death on the scene of his last blockbuster. Lucky must sort through stereotypes and challenge common perceptions as well as his own prejudices in order to sort through gossip, innuendo, and intrigue to find the killer before time runs out. This murder mystery will pit Lucky against some of the most deceitful creatures on Earth. Movie stars. Get Lot 28 today.
Okay, welcome back, Hang With. We are hanging with
Vincent F.A. Golphin.
Good, Vincent F.A. Golphin. And
VReads.blogspot.com.
VReads. Go check out the blog VReads. I want to give a quick shout out thanks to Books, Chocolate, and Wine for sponsoring us, and Something Unique Magazine online magazine, for sponsoring us here and helping us hang with the authors and bloggers and the people at Indie BookFest. So, Vincent, we were talking about kind of the truth about writing, why people write and why we tell stories. And you have a really good handle on that. And you seem to enjoy reading and passing those stories on. So,
well, because again, that stories are a way, whether it's a film or whether it's a play or whether it's books or short stories, newspaper articles, the stories we tell ourselves are how we frame our reality. And there are certain things that we're just not ready to deal with, okay? Like, for example, the reason I got into doing this blog was because I've done book reviews for years. I was doing book reviews for the Los Angeles Review, and then I forget what it was. I didn't stop. I still do things for them occasionally, but I started thinking, well, why don't you just, like, if you want to do more reviews, do your own blog? So I started doing that and putting things out there. And then, of course, it was hard to really get authors because you say to people, okay, you know, I have this thing, come to me and I will review your book. And no one comes. And so you literally have to start going out and finding things. And I check BookBub.
It's really funny that you say that, because for as an indie author, as a journalist, as you know, you come in the morning and you find your desk there's loaded with these press releases. You got to sort through them and go, this one's good. This, oh God, no. And I said, but as an author now, on the other side of the coin, I find I send it out. And oftentimes, I'm one of the ones that goes over here. Right. And so what happens is it's so hard to get a review. To get somebody to read your stuff and post a review. I can give my book away for 5 days and give away 4,000 copies of my book and get one review from one person. So it's hard to do. It's hard for you and I to hook up online. And
writing to get a good review of your book, to have someone, because you don't just want somebody to say, oh, you know, G.W. Pomichter gave me this book, and it's a great book because G.W. is great, and I enjoyed it, and it's wonderful, and it's nice.
You want somebody to tell me about my book. Tell me what you thought.
And also have something cogent to say about it. Like, you know, this is in the vein of Dashiell Hammett, or this is like really very much like a Robert Ludlum over in this paragraph, you know, and that kind of thing. And so you want somebody to talk intelligently about your book, okay? Also, the same thing with author interviews. It's a terrible experience to interview somebody and or do an interview with someone and have them ask you inane questions, okay? Things that you almost want to look at them and say, have you read my book? Do you have any idea of who I am? Okay, that kind of thing. And
I'm a publicity hound, so I'll take whatever I can get. But you're right.
And there are people that don't read, okay? They don't read the book. They just say, okay, I'll interview you, okay? And if they don't have any real background, it shows through. So in an interview space, just like our experience here, is very short. So you want to be able to put the most into it, and you want to get the most out of it. Absolutely. And so that's what V Reads offers, and will offer even more of in future, because as I said, I can do things in print right now, but I'm very seriously moving towards doing video logs.
I think the online community is really where it's at, and we have to wrap up. I know we have a limited amount of time. Thank you very much, Hangwith, for coming to join us. Please give us a thumbs up, give us a like on there. Thank you, Books, Chocolate, and Wine. Thank you, Something Unique Magazine,
and thank you for having me.
Thank you very much.
That's great.
It's good to have you here.